What's up, everybody? On a Friday after Thanksgiving, getting that good turkey and dressing in. It's yours truly, Stephen M. Smith, touchdown. Alabama Magazine in my own words, breaking it down right here with you, talking Crimson Tide football. Get on in while the getting is good. As always, we're bringing you the show. Well, today we're bringing you the show remotely from my home right here in Tuscaloosa. Still streaming this to you live on YouTube. Speaking of the channel, you know what to do. You hit that subscribe button right now. You turn all of those notifications on, making sure you get the hook up there on Crimson Tide football. You leave a like on the show. Hit that like button. Raise that like button up. Give us a like right here on the show. We're trying to get this thing 50 likes right now, coming out the gate. Also, those super chats, all donations appreciated. All donations welcome. That daily super chat going $100 there. Daily super chat going. Appreciate the support there coming from all of you. And we got a great one tonight. Great conversation tonight. The Iron Bowl tomorrow, 2:30 p.m. Central Time kickoff from Bryant-Denny here in Tuscaloosa. Coach Saban taking on Cadillac Williams. A lot to talk about. And we're going to get to all of your thoughts in the YouTube chat line right now. So if you got thoughts, if you got questions, if you got score predictions, offensive, defensive player of the game, all of these things, go ahead, drop those into the chat line tonight. I'm going to get to all of these throughout the show. We're already getting a couple of U.S. fans talking about, here and Bill O'Brien could go to Georgia Tech. I'm looking at this one right here from Jessica, who writes in, I'm hearing Bill O'Brien could go to Georgia Tech. Let us now bow our heads and pray. Maybe Pete Golden got a DUI last night from the wild turkey. So Jessica really hoping that Bill O'Brien goes to Georgia Tech and maybe take Pete Golden with him. That's what she's hoping. Gregory Pace writes in, he hopes the wide receivers are ready to play, and hopefully these wide receivers do come ready, do come prepared, and not dropping passes from Bryce Young. And we're referring to Jermaine Burton, Trayshawn Holden, Kobe Prentice, Isaiah Bond, JoJo Earl, the whole group able to catch the football, make plays up and down the field. But we're going to actually, folks, get into, our first topic of conversation here on the evening. And, that, to me, it's the X factor for this year's Iron Bowl. What's going to be the X factor in this football game for me? And I think, just off the top of my head, the X factor for me is going to be the run game. I think the run game is going to be pivotal for the Crimson Tide. And the reason why I say this is, with the weather calling for rain, we're talking 75% chance of rain. Here's a game where Bill O'Brien's got no choice but to lean into the run game. I know a lot of times he likes to deviate from the ground and pound, but I'll say this. He's got no choice but to lean into the run game in this matchup, just due to you got Jace McClellan that can run the football. You got Roydell Williams that can run the football. I know Trey Sanders is in the transfer portal, but you got freshman Jamarian Miller who can run the football. Jahmyr Gibbs still listed as day-to-day with a twisted ankle, according to Coach Saban. He did practice this week for Alabama, but we've seen Jace McClellan back-to-back weeks be able to run through guys, run guys over, power through guys, make big plays in the run game. So, I mean, this past week, McClellan, 156 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns against Austin Peay. So if you're Bill O'Brien, you got no choice. With the rain, downpour, offensive line, being able to play smash mouth football, you got to be able to run the ball in this matchup and really take the energy and the fight away from Auburn, which with Cadillac Williams, they're coming in with a lot of fight. They're coming in here with a lot of energy. They're coming in here with a lot of that rah-rah mentality, and you got to be able to meet that head on. We got a thought here from YouTube user here who writes in, B.O.B. is gone, job or no job. Saban has said he's going in a different direction next year in terms of coaching. Well, YouTube user, hopefully that's the case, because a lot of Alabama fans are asking the question, when is Bill O'Brien going to go out of here? I mean, for 2 years, you've dealt with a lack of creativity on offense, an offense that's not fun, an offense that it's very archaic, it's boring out there, and it's not effective. So O'Brien was in Tuscaloosa for 2 years. This is the last year of his deal, last year of his contract. So hopefully Saban is looking at a different direction there in terms of getting back to being creative there offensively. My man Bill from New York, but also known as William Morris, writes in, Steven, if Alabama does not make the playoff, would you like Bryce Young to skip any bowl games? I feel like it would be better for us all if he did. This might be a topic. No. I mean, for Bryce, I could understand if he chooses to miss the bowl game if chaos does not ensue. Now, I understand you as Alabama fans, you want all of your players playing in all the bowl games and taking part in all the bowl prep. I get that, absolutely. But I can also see a scenario where Bryce is probably talking to his dad and the conversation of, look, you are going to be, a first-round draft pick. You're going to be a top 5 pick. You're going to be arguably the number 1 quarterback taken in this draft, maybe even the number 1 overall pick. So do you really want to risk the investment that we've put in you and that you've put into yourself? So I concede Bryce not going in the bowl game and having that as a chance to see what your future is between Ty Simpson and Jalen Milroe. But at the same time, Bryce is just so much of a competitor. That's a tough one there, Bill. And I agree with you. I don't want to see him get hurt either. You definitely don't want to see Bryce get hurt. But Bryce is so much of a competitor. That's a good question there. But I would definitely lean toward him more than likely not playing just due to the NFL future that is right there in front of him. Gregory Pace writes in here. Gregory says in the next week, there will be some major upsets creating a big shakeup in the playoff rankings. And Gregory, that's the chaos that a lot of fans want to see ensue. Because if Alabama wants to get into the playoff, you need LSU to lose to Texas A&M, which that can happen. You need TCU to lose either to Iowa State or in the Big 12 championship game, which that can happen also. You would need USC, the Trojans, to lose to Notre Dame, which that can ensue as well. So you need 3 teams to lose to create this chaos, because Michigan and Ohio State, that'll cancel itself out. So if Bama can get this chaos here for this weekend, that'll be big here for the Crimson Tide. Gotta shout out my man, Big Bill from New York, that $5 donation in the Super Chats. Appreciate the love there coming from Bill. That daily Super Chat goal, $100, people. Daily Super Chat goal. All of your donations appreciated right there. Thanks to you guys for showing the love here on the channel. Sweet Home Bama 22 writing in here, the Lane train that going to Lane Kiffin said he was expecting to stay at Ole Miss at the post-game presser. Yes, Lane Kiffin mentioned that he was staying at Ole Miss, but we all kind of know how, coaches will say, I'm staying in a program and dip and go somewhere else. I would like to see Lane Kiffin stay at Ole Miss, even though Auburn in desperate need of trying to get a winning head coach in there and create a winning culture. We'll see what happens moving forward. His son, Knox, really likes it at Ole Miss, as Knox was doing the little fog machine there at the Egg Bowl between Mississippi and Mississippi State. But going to be interesting there in terms of where Ole Miss is concerned. But just getting back to kind of my X factor here for this Iron Bowl, to me, it is the run game. You got to run the football. This offensive line, got to put a man on a man, be nasty, be gritty, be mean, be physical, impose that will. And we've seen quite a few times this season where Bama has done this, whether it was against Arkansas imposing its will, against Ole Miss in the second half, Alabama imposing its will. Last week against Austin Peay imposed its will for Jace McClellan to have success. So when you're going up against an Auburn defense, which they've got some pass rushers, and how do you neutralize pass rushers? You run the football right at them. I mean, Auburn's got Colby Wooden as a pass rusher, Big Derek Hall, pass rusher. Hall a season ago in the same game had 3.5 sacks of Bryce Young. So you got to run the ball right at them. You got to do it. So for Alabama, I think the X factor is the run game. Shouting out my man Scott Myrick one time with that $20 donation in the Super Chats. Appreciate Scott bringing the dough. Scott bringing the heat right there. He also says he's enjoying the show. So appreciate all the love and support there from Scott, helping us out here on the channel. Once again, people, that daily Super Chat going $100 there. Appreciate the love coming from each and every last one of you checking us out as we're doing the show remotely today, paying that respect to the Thanksgiving holiday. Hopefully you guys are having fun with family and friends, getting a part of that turkey and dressing and football and all the great stuff there. I had the joy today to be a part of the Paul Feinbaum Show, SEC Network, via ESPN this evening, and it was fun being a part with Paul, but always a joy being a part here with you, the Alabama fans, the Bama Nation, the Crimson Tide faithful, breaking down the Iron Bowl coming up here on tomorrow. CBS will have the call on the matchup. Bama soccer, women's soccer actually playing tonight, on the campus. Looking forward to seeing what the ladies do out there for your Crimson Tide. But my X factor is the run game, but I kind of want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the chat. What is the X factor that you guys have for this game? What's the X factor? What's the piece that no one's really talking about in this Iron Bowl that you believe will come to the forefront? Drop that in the chat along with your predictions, your offensive player of the game, the defensive player of the game. All of that good stuff right there. Appreciate Mike Coleman, who is thanking me for doing this right here on the show. I appreciate that from Mr. Mark Coleman, YouTube user writing in. Am I doing any interviews outside of Brian Denny? I may not be, but if I am, hey, find me. Definitely find me if I am. Godfather of the SEC, a.k.a. my man Waylon, writes in no penalties. That's his X factor, no penalties. So hopefully that plays into fruition, no penalties. We got PJ Steins writing in. Steven, you're on your way to the top. Keep it going. Appreciate that, PJ. The love from you there. Deborah Merida writes in special teams. So Deborah's got special teams as her X factor. Deborah, I'm feeling that right there. When you look at the job that Will Reichert has done all year, has made over 80% of his field goals, all of his extra points. James Barnup been doing well punting this year, flipping the field. So I can see special teams, absolutely. James Richard writing in. He's telling me I'm doing a good job. I appreciate that coming from James. MFR Jones writing in. feed Chase and Gibbs. You definitely want to feed McClellan. Absolutely. Want to get him another 100-yard performance, but also with Gibbs listed as day-to-day according to Coach Saban. But if that ankle's feeling right, in pregame, I think he is definitely going to be able to go here. James Knox writing in, thanks to Mrs. Stephen M. Smith allowing Stephen to be with us tonight. So he's thanking my wife, Mia. Definitely want to appreciate my wife, Mia, allowing me to do this. Not only my wife, Mia, but my outstanding sister-in-law, Irish, for allowing me to have some time here to get with you guys on the show here. Davis Watts writing in 24-21 Bama. He's got Bama in a nail-biter, beating Auburn in the Iron Bowl 24-21. Sweet Home Alabama is writing in here. Okay, I have to ask, is Harrell expected to play? Yes, Tyler Harrell is expected to play. The point is, do you have him on the field for more than one play? That's my thing with Sweet Home Bama 22. Do you put Tyler Harrell on the field for more than just one play? Because we've seen him for one play, and then he kind of vanishes. Can you have him on the field for more than just one play? That's just my thing. That's just my thing. Can you have him on the field for more than one play? Now thankfully for Harrell, he does have another year of eligibility if he, and I think he should use it, because you've seen the tape from Louisville. You have not seen the tape from Alabama. So I think Tyler Harrell should use that other year of eligibility. Deborah Morita writing in there her score prediction. Let's see here, Deborah. She's got 21-10 Bama. Another close one. So Deborah's got 21-10 Bama. There we go there for Deborah here. We've got Crimson Tide Beat writing in. Love the interview on Fine Bomb, Stephen. Keep up the work there. Appreciate that, Crimson Tide Beast, writing that in there. Enjoy being on Paul. Paul gave me a call there, so I was able to get that taken there. So appreciate Paul there. My man Bill from New York writing back in, I want to beat Auburn with the young players. And he's got young in all caps, such as Jamil Burrows and Jamarian Miller there, to name a few. So Bill wants to see Bama take care of that business there with the young players. But guys, continue to get your thoughts in terms of that X factor. Something that no one's really talking about when you look at the Iron Bowl tomorrow, but what would be your X factor for this game? I got mine as the run game. Got to be able to run the football right at this Auburn defensive front that's got quite a few pass rushers on there. Guys, hit that like button. If you're just coming to the show, hit that thumbs up, hit the like button. Let's get this show up right now. 50 likes right here, starting us off here on the show. Also, that daily super chat goal there, $100 there, daily super chat goal. Doing this from home today, giving that honor to the Thanksgiving holiday. William Bryant writes in, am I taking phone calls? No phone calls tonight, William, unfortunately, but get your thoughts there in the chat. Light the chat up. I'll be interacting with the chat all night tonight. So no phone calls, but interacting with the chat. B. Jammin writes in, field goals may be huge in this game. I think Bryce has got to find Cameron Latu. Defense has got to step up, get pressure, contain Tank Bixby. B. Jammin, absolutely. Absolutely, B. Jammin. You are right on with that. Dean Cloud writes in, no fumbles. Can't have the fumbles. Can't have the turnovers here in the football game. Absolutely there from Dean Cloud there. Mike Coleman, going back to Tyler Harrell being able to stretch the field. You got to have Harrell on the field. You got to have Harrell play out there on the field. Jamie Wilhelm writes in, the key question is, will our receivers show up to play? Will the Bama receiver corps show up? And Jamie Wilhelm, bingo. Can the guys catch the football, get open, run your route, catch the football, make plays in space, and work back to Bryce Young there? So Absolutely. Coming from Jamie Wilhelm. We got Brazy, Brazy Knight writes in, do y'all think Pete will coach better drunk? I don't know about that one. I don't know if Pete Golden will coach better with the DUI. I do not know that one. Will be intriguing to see that though. We got PJ Steins. He's talking about that 12-team playoff would keep us engaged here. I don't see Bama being out of the top 12 teams in the future. That 12-team playoff, PJ Steins, keep your eye on that. That could be fun. That could be very fun to see there, that 12-team playoff. And I think we're inching closer to that. Steven, this is Bill from New York right now. Steven, let's hope to see more of Tyler Booker. I don't care if he's a guard or tackle. I want to see more from Booker. He's nasty. He's mean. He's aggressive. He's physical. We've seen his growth all year. Definitely want to see more of Tyler Booker out there on the field. Absolutely. We got here from Thunderstruck, 31-14, Bama. So Thunderstruck going with 31-14 in favor of the Crimson Tide. Mike Coleman writes in, Booker is a beast. Absolutely. So my thought here, run game is going to be the biggest thing in terms of the X factor here. But let's actually slide into a different topic of conversation. So topic 2 here is you look at, having Coach Saban on the sidelines for this game here at home for the first time since the 20 for the first, because he missed the 2020 matchup at home due to COVID, and having Saban back on the sideline for this matchup is huge. I mean, it really is. Of course, he was on the sideline for the 2021 Iron Bowl at Jordan-Hare and how crazy that was in Auburn, and the final score 24-22, and Bryce Young making the play there on that 12-play 97-yard drive in the fourth quarter to tie the game at 10. But that 2020 Iron Bowl, Coach Saban was at home due to testing positive for COVID, and then you had to have Steve Sarkisian act as the head coach, and he did a phenomenal job doing that. I mean, Bama got the 42-13 win, but Saban was asked this week by the reporting staff, by the reporters, by the media, are you happy to be back on the field for this game? And he's like, yeah, heck yeah. I want to be back out there. Yeah, I want to be back out there. I mean, Saban was happy. Saban wants to be back out there on that field. Now, of course, he was pleased with watching the game from home and having the TV version and the film clip version. But of course, did Miss Terry really want Saban to be at home? Absolutely not, because Miss Terry was like, that sounded like a train out there, but it was Nick yelling at the TV and probably saying some words that I cannot say on this program. So even though Coach Saban had to watch it from home, pretty sure that Miss Terry did not want that happening, but so he's happy to be back up on the field. He's happy to be back out there on the field, and she's happy to have him back out there on the field here for this Iron Bowl. And I think what's going to be interesting is the coaching dynamic between the GOAT and Coach Saban and the interim coach in Carnell Cadillac Williams. Like the chess match between those two, because keep in mind, Cadillac competed against Coach Saban while Cadillac was at Auburn. Coach Saban was at LSU, and you had that dynamic going there. And then, of course, when Saban was the head coach of the Miami Dolphins in the pros, he had the chance to take either Cadillac or Ronnie Brown in the 2005 NFL draft. And of course, the Dolphins chose Brown over Cadillac. Cadillac went to the Buccaneers and all this. So his story kind of comes full circle here and competing head to head on the big stage against Coach Saban. And the energy that's going to be brought from the Auburn end, when you look at Saban, and when the players come out the tunnel on Saturday, what type of energy will we see? That's the big thing. What type of energy will we see from this team? What type of energy will we see from Bryce Young, from Will Anderson, from the receivers, from the offensive line, from the defensive players, from the coaching staff, what energy will we see take over Bryant-Denny Stadium when you talk about Alabama football in this game? Because this is the game where you throw the records out the window. The record means absolutely nothing. It's bragging rights for 364 days a year. It's you got to deal with you got killed by Roll Tide or you got killed by Auburn. You got to deal with that. You got to deal with that from your mom, your dad, your uncle, your auntie, your grandmama on a cane, your grandfather on an oxygen tank. You got to deal with it. I mean, that's what you got to deal with. 364 days a year. So for Alabama, the energy that Saban will have these guys out with as he's on the field for this game, will we hear some chanting? Will we hear some trash talking? What are we going to hear with Saban back out here, on this field for this particular matchup? But continuing to interact with the chat line here. Brazy Knight writing back in. Steven, you are the man. God gave us the best man for the job. Bama Nation, Steven Smith, #1. Hey, Brazy Knight, I appreciate that. But it's you guys who are the great ones, man. I just have the most fun talking Alabama football with you guys. This is what I have. I have the most fun talking Alabama football with you guys out here, speaking Tide. Absolutely speaking Tide. So you guys make it fun. I have the easy job. You guys make it fun right here. Let's see here. We're going to get into some more thoughts. William Bryant, what happened to O.J. Howard? Is he still with Tampa Bay? O.J. Howard is now with the Houston Texans. So that's where O.J. is, William Bryant. O.J. Howard is with the Houston Texans right now. So that's where he is. Still in the NFL with the Houston Texans. Jamie Wilhelm writing in, my daughter said Tuscaloosa is crazy tonight. A lot of Auburn fans in town. Tuscaloosa is crazy for the Iron Bowl. It's crazy for the soccer team that is in play tonight. I mean, there's a lot of traffic here in T-Town. Also, got to shout out Alabama men's basketball. How about Brandon Miller, Mark Sears, Charles Bediako, Nate Oates getting that win over Michigan State on last night. So big win there for Bama men's basketball, improving to 5-0 on the year. And Nate Oates is recruiting guys that can shoot the three, that can drive the basket, that can stretch the floor, that can play defense. I mean, guys out there 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", all type of skills on the floor. So really proud of Nate Oates and what he was able to do, last night, taking down Tom Izzo and Michigan State. Alan Crew, writing in, Alabama men's basketball playing tonight at 8:30. So I might need to try to check that out, after this right here. But I just look at the Saban being back on the sideline for this game. Saban being back on the sideline for this Iron Bowl, and it's exciting. It's exciting to see here. It was a good game last night. Absolutely, Mike Coleman. Everybody is letting Jamie Wilhelm know that the basketball game will be on ESPN. Yes, it will be. PJ Steins is writing in. Nate Oates can be our offensive coordinator. Yeah. Man, for Bama football, everybody wants Bill O'Brien out the door quick. And for O'Brien, I mean, that sweepstakes is still Georgia. I mean, Nebraska won him. Georgia Tech, I mean, Jay Batt, who was the deputy director here at Alabama, now at Georgia Tech. I mean, Brent Key is the interim coach right now for the Yellow Jackets. Brent Key, former Alabama offensive line coach. And although Batt and Key have a very good relationship, what's being reported is Jay Batt really likes Bill O'Brien. I mean, he loves O'Brien to the point where Batt is looking at O'Brien as the #1 guy for Georgia Tech. So Georgia Tech is high on O'Brien's trail. Nebraska's high on O'Brien's trail. The NFL is hot on O'Brien's trail. I think for the Bama Nation, we don't care if Timbuktu is on O'Brien's trail. Just get him on the first plane, train, boat, carrier pigeon, the first thing out of Tuscaloosa. It don't matter what it is. The first thing out of Tuscaloosa, just have O'Brien on that. Just have him on that. But I've said this before, regardless of what takes place, I think this is O'Brien's last season in Alabama. I do not think he's retained. And if he is retained, I will be utterly shocked. I will be utterly shocked if he's maintained, if he's attained here. Deborah Marita writes in, Nebraska's hiring Matt Rule. Deborah, I've heard that. I've definitely heard that. I mean, Nebraska likes Matt Rule also. So I have definitely heard that talk. I've definitely heard that conversation. But you got Georgia Tech out there for O'Brien, Colorado out there for O'Brien, Arizona State out there for O'Brien. Somebody, the NFL for O'Brien. Somebody. I mean, somebody. I mean, somebody loves you, Bill. Oh. I mean, I tried to sing that, but that was not going to work. That was not going to work there. But everybody is trying to figure out where will Bill O'Brien go here. But I think Coach Saban being back on the sidelines at home for this game for the first time in terms of a home game since he missed the 2020 matchup there. Really looking forward to seeing Saban on the sideline, Saban in his element, Saban getting on some guys, trying to get the culture back restored in Tuscaloosa. That's the main thing. Get the culture back restored, get the standard of a thing in here, the way it needs to be in here. So I feel like these next moves here for Saban after the season, whether it's coaching moves, whether it's recruiting moves, these moves have got to be home run hits. He's got to hit with every single last one of these moves here. Mike Coleman writes in, give us some real names for offensive coordinator, some real candidates here. Some real names, Mike Coleman. Dan Mullen's a real name. I think Dan Mullen's a real name. I think Frank Wright, particularly, is a real name as he got fired from the Colts. I still think Garrett Riley is a real name. I mean, I still think he's a real name out there, somebody you can pull from TCU. So those would be my three. But at the top of the list, with Dan Mullen just being a commentator, I would really look at Dan Mullen right there. I hear Charlie Weiss Jr. in here. Charlie Weiss Jr., that would be interesting, but at the same time, not really feeling Charlie Weiss Jr., but he is a name. Definitely is a name right there. Let's see here. Alan Crew writes in, Saban is bringing Mike Dubose back. Oh, no. Saban is not bringing Dubose back in here. Saban is definitely not bringing Mike Dubose back in here, Alan. He ain't bringing Dubose back in here. I do not see that. I do not see that. I think Dubose is coaching high school. I think Dubose is still coaching high school. If I'm not mistaken, I think he is. But I certainly don't see Saban bringing Dubose back in here. But continue here. Oh, here we go. So Sweet Home Alabama writes in, he says, no, Steve. I said no on Charlie Weiss. Yeah. So no on Charlie Weiss there. So Sweet Home Alabama saying a no there on Charlie Weiss. So I can see that. You see, B. Jammin writes in, Garrett Riley may get a head coaching offer if TCU wins a natty, or at least goes to a natty game. B. Jammin, I can see that. I can see Garrett Riley getting a head coaching offer if TCU was to make a strong run there. Once again, if TCU was to either win the national championship, which that'd be tough for them to do, but if they were to win the national championship or again the championship game, I could see Garrett Riley getting a head coaching shot there. Mike Coleman writes in, Hugh Freeze, ? I would love Hugh Freeze. I would. I know he signed the 8-year deal at Liberty, but people sign deals, extensions all the time, and leave for other jobs. I mean, Joe Brady signed an extension to LSU, but still left to go to the NFL. Dave Aranda signed an extension to go to stay at LSU, but then Aranda left to be the head coach at Baylor. So we've seen coaches sign extensions to a program just to leave to go somewhere else. And I would love Hugh Freeze. Based off what he did at Ole Miss, prior to all the situations and circumstances, I would love Hugh Freeze in Tuscaloosa. Absolutely. And I think that's a name that Coach Saban needs to get on the phone and be like, hey, bro, I mean, I know, Hugh, I know you, son, I know you at Liberty, but come on down here, man. Come on down here. I mean, I'd love for Nick Saban to make that call to Hugh Freeze. But will Coach Saban listen to me? Will Coach Saban listen to me? That is a mystery that will remain unsolved. Gregory Pace writes in, or Joe Brady. Joe Brady would be nice. After what he did one season at LSU and Joe Burrow, Joe Brady would be a breath of fresh air. Joe Brady would be a kiss of heaven. Have him on this coaching staff. Way he can recruit and manipulate schemes, systems, offense. Joe Brady would be fantastic. So we'll see how Saban plays it. We'll see how Coach Nick plays it. Remember, folks, continue to hit that like button, bringing this to you on a Friday, day after Thanksgiving. You got all your turkey, your dressing, your sweet potato pie, and all that in here. We're bringing you, in my own words, hottest show on the streets remotely, giving you your Crimson Tide football fix. So hit that like button, run those likes up, give us a thumbs up here on the show. That daily super chat goal, $100 right there. Daily super chat goal. All donations welcome. All donations appreciated. You guys drop in your score predictions. You drop in your offensive and defensive player of the game here for the Iron Bowl. Also, yes or no, Bama fans, write this in. Yes or no, will chaos ensue and Bama make the playoff? Yes or no? Will chaos ensue and Bama make the playoff? So your thoughts right there, hitting into that chat line. But looking forward to seeing Coach Saban on that sideline. You know, he mentioned in the presser earlier this week that, you know, he watched the game from home, but in 2020, but he's like, yeah, I'm looking forward to be back inside Bryant-Denny, you know, watching the football game. So far, we got Dale B saying yes, he thinks chaos will ensue. Gregory Pace, yes for the chaos. Crimson Tide Beast, no on the chaos. And YouTube user, no on the chaos. Bill from New York saying very unlikely, but who knows on the chaos. Godfather of the SEC, my man Waylon saying high hopes, yes on the chaos. CJ 1818 with yes for the chaos. Jamie Wilhelm, no, but hoping yes. Mike Coleman, yes on the chaos. PJ Stein says, needed the chaos last week. Yes, absolutely. So everybody continue to write this in. Do you think the chaos will ensue? A lot of you guys are saying it's possible. It's definitely possible, but some say impossible, but don't think it'll happen. And, you know, I can understand that. For a lot of us, it's, you know, you play for the pride of Alabama football and you reset. You play for pride and you reset. Donna Bridgeton writes in, it is very possible. And it is because I always go back to that 2007 LSU team, right? That had no business in the BCS National Championship game with 2 losses under I'ma eat grass, Les Miles. Had no business in that championship game. And they got in there in 07. LSU got in there and won the national championship. So it is possible. The question is, will Bama get the help? That's the big thing. Bama's got to take care of business and beating Auburn, yes. But can Bama get the help from other teams in terms of losing there? Stranger things have happened, Mike Coleman. I agree with you. Stranger things have happened. So Bama Nation, you guys, keeping your fingers crossed here in terms of the playoff. But Alabama got to start this off by beating Auburn this weekend. But we go to our final thought here, fans of the conversation. And I think when you look at the Iron Bowl, and the thought is, will this game successfully push Alabama into next season? I think it does. I think we in the Iron Bowl will successfully push Alabama in the next season because it's going to start Nick Saban's clock of, okay, we got to hit on names in the recruiting trail for 2023. We got to hit on coaches in terms of his coaching staff. We got to get this thing back right. And I feel like a dominant performance against Auburn would really set Nick Saban in motion here to get this right. Because we've been hanging on at U.S. fans, not myself in the media. When Saban got here in 2007, he mentioned you're going to have a product that you can be 100% proud of. And in terms of the legacy, Saban's been absolutely on point with it. But the last 2 years, U.S. Bama Nation have not been pleased with this product, and you have every right to be. Because in the years past, we've seen Alabama lose a game or two, but you still saw the effort, you still saw the toughness, you still saw the commitment, you still saw the passion, you still saw the pride, you still saw the zeal, you still saw the discipline, right? These last 2 seasons, we haven't seen that. And especially this season where you've got the penalties, you've got guys not showing the effort, you've got guys missing tackles, you've got guys dropping passes. You're not seeing the want to from a lot of these guys. Now, you got some guys that have the want to, absolutely, but you're not seeing everybody have the want to. And then you're not seeing the vocal leadership that we've grown accustomed to from guys that will get in your face and hold people accountable. Got to hold people accountable in terms of this team here. But absolutely, from B-Jam, and new OC is 100% best thing for Bama's future. New OC is. New OC is. Absolutely. Is it bad for us to dream? Tobias, is it bad for us to dream? No, Tobias, it's not. It's not bad for us to dream it's not bad for Bama to dream in terms of the playoff. Absolutely not. Because, there is a chance for the chaos to happen. And like in college football, we've seen a whole bunch of eerie things happen. And that's what makes college football so much fun. You don't know who's going to lose on any given day. The best of the best can get beaten on any given day. So it's not bad for anybody to sit there and dream about the playoff and the potential for Bama to get in there. We have here Sweet Home Bama 22 question. Should Bama work the transfer portal this offseason? Gibbs was a hit, but there were a lot of misses. I feel like Bama needs to develop the guys that's already got on the roster. The only way you hit the transfer portal would be if there's just something just undeniably special. If there's something undeniably special, I can understand that. But if it ain't nothing undeniably special, I don't hit that portal. I don't hit that. I develop what you already have in this program, because there's young talent, freshmen and sophomores, already in the program. They're already here. You got to develop those guys. The YouTube user makes a great point right here, right now. We have the players, but we need the coaches to bring back the swagger. Absolutely. You got to have the coaches that these players are going to ride for. You got to have these coaches that these players are going to run through a brick wall for. You got to have the coaches that are going to cultivate that mentality, in these players. So absolutely. Absolutely. Here's the dream scenario from Tobias. He's got Clemson losing to South Carolina, USC losing to Notre Dame, Ohio State beating Michigan, TCU losing to Kansas State in the championship, and LSU losing to Georgia. I mean, Tobias, let's ride. Tobias, my man from Fresno, let's ride, baby. Let's ride with that right there. Hey, I'm putting my faith with you on that one. Let's ride with that. Hey, we can make that do what it do right there. So you guys continue getting your thoughts into the chat line. But I think victory over Auburn here in this Iron Bowl will successfully push, Alabama into this offseason right here. CJ 1818 writing in 37-6 Bama. So he's got 37-6 in favor of the tie. 37-6 right there in favor of the tie. Let's see here. YouTube user writes in here. YouTube users let's see what you got here. The portal is disrespect to our recruits. Bama doesn't need the portal. I agree with that. Bama doesn't need the portal. And I go back to there are moments where Saban doesn't go outside of the program unless it's a just incredibly special talent, right? Because when you recruit guys, when you recruit freshmen, you develop those freshmen. You develop those sophomores. You develop them young guys to be built by Bama, right? You're built by Bama because you're developed by Bama. You've gone through you've gone through all of the growth process to get you on the field and to get you where you need to be to dominate on that field. Now, I understand there are times when you have to pursue the portal because there's this unbelievable athletic talent that you may need. True, I get that. But more times than not, in the Saban era, everything's been built through the recruiting classes, through these freshmen, through these sophomores, and you're getting the right players in the program, the guys that want Bama, the guys that breathe Bama, the guys that just, it's Bama or nothing. And that's how it started. It's Bama or nothing. And you got to go back to getting to those guys, Bama or nothing in terms of that right there. Tobias writing in saying, I agree with you, Stephen. We need to coach the young ones up. The transfer portal brought us nothing but Gibbs and Ricks for 2 games. True. You got to get back to coaching your freshmen, coaching your sophomores, coaching your young guys in here that you're bringing here. Bill from New York writing in, Steen, in terms of Tyler Steen, is not a really special talent. Tell me the last left tackle who he was better than. Steen has been more serviceable than elite. I mean, I would take Evan Neal. I would take Barrett Jones. I would take Alex Leatherwood. I would take Cam Robinson. I would take Cyrus Kwanjo over Steen. Andre Smith as well. But Steen has been serviceable, at best. So he's had some good moments. He's had some moments where he's been beaten also. So he's been kind of serviceable there, at that spot. But everybody continue here, getting your thoughts rolled in to the show. Continue to hit that like button on the show as we get ready to wrap this up here. William Bryant writing in his score prediction, 41-13 Bama. He's got Will Anderson as his defensive player of the game. Roydell Williams is his offensive player of the game. Appreciate William Bryant helping us out right there. Tobias sat there and said, we need more built by Bama, not built by or B-U-Y Bama, or built by Bama, as in leaving by. When the kids come in, they have to know they are responsible for carrying the legacy. They have to. It's like Bo Scarborough had mentioned on this show before, you got to lay a foundation for the next guys to come behind you. Because the guys before you laid a foundation, and now you have to continue with that foundation and then lay something else for the guys behind you. You got to be foundation oriented. Absolutely. Dale B writes in 38-10 Bama. Appreciate that from Dale. Let's see. Donna Bridgeton writes in, I don't know if it will be a high scoring game if it rains. If it rains, Donna, I see this as a low scoring affair if it rains. I see this kind of 28-10, 24-10, something along those lines. If the rain does pour down heavy inside Bryant-Denny. Now, Saban likes to have a little rover, little plane above the stadium to try to keep the field dry. And of course, Saban likes to run those wet ball drills on the field just to help out with that. But we shall see. Gotta shout out my man, Tobias Brookins, baby! Tobias dropping in the money. That $100 in the super chats. Appreciate my man from Fresno, California, helping us out right there on the show. Tobias, we appreciate that. Doing this for you guys remotely as everybody's celebrating their Thanksgiving on this weekend. Hopefully all of y'all have. Did y'all save me some turkey and dressing? Did y'all save me some? I mean, I had some myself, but did anybody save me some turkey and dressing? You know, I appreciate some extra turkey right there. Oh, man, I appreciate that. We got this thought from Gregory Pace, 30-13, Bama. Appreciate Gregory Pace right there, 30-13. Marvin Spencer writes in, the end of a dynasty. Y'all be good. Auburn wins 21-13. Auburn. He's got Auburn. Marvin Spencer's got the Tigers. 21-13 here. Let's see here. Tobias is writing in. He's laughing at my whole turkey and dressing thing. No, seriously, y'all. Did y'all save me some turkey and dressing? Like, for real. Like, I can use a bit more of that, but I'm just kidding, man. I got enough. Look, man, I got enough turkey and dressing to feed the 5,000. I mean, I don't have the fish and the 5 loaves of bread, but I got enough turkey and dressing right now to feed the 5,000 or 500,000. Y'all know the scripture right there. But appreciate you guys checking us out here on the show. Tobias responded back to Marvin Spencer. He says lies. All boys will be showing up tomorrow in terms of the Iron Bowl. William, appreciate. See. William got me. William said, "I got you some ham and dressing, Steve." And I appreciate that, William. Appreciate that ham and dressing right there. Ham and dressing. Crimson Tide B said, "Nah, bruh got the itis." Look. Crimson Tide Beast, I've been trying to fight it off, man. I've been trying to fight it off, and I think I'm doing a good job. I would like to say, but I am. I would like to say so, but definitely appreciate all of you checking out the live here on this evening. I mean, you guys have been tremendous. You guys have been outstanding. Definitely enjoy all the thoughts right here, all the comments right here. Continue to get your thoughts rolling in here in the chat line, your score predictions, your offensive and defensive players of the game, whoever that may be, right there on the chat line as we get ready to wrap this thing up here on a Friday. Continue to hit that like button. Appreciate you guys liking the show, giving us that thumbs up right there, making this your show, your network platform, channel, and space to talk Crimson Tide football. Donna Bridgeton writes back in here, I hope the boys show up tomorrow because Auburn will be ready. I hope Bama doesn't play conservative so not to get injured. Done. Absolutely. I want these guys to show up and show out. Show up, show out, put the hammer down, be balanced, run around the field defensively, make a lot of plays, force turnovers. Can Bama have a game where its defense can get some multiple turnovers in here, especially against Auburn? That'll be good right there. Tobias saying great job to me. I appreciate that, Tobias. John Reggie writes in, Steven, he says, can we get a luncheon set up in Birmingham or Tuscaloosa for the fans, Steven? A luncheon set up. Hey, put a pin in that one, John. We're gonna come back to that one. We're gonna come back to that luncheon thing. Alan Berry writes in, any thoughts on staff changes and hires this offseason? Well, my thoughts on that, Alan, would be I think regardless of what happens to end the season, I think O'Brien's out. I think O'Brien's out. Now, Pete Golding, that's kind of where the sticky situation is because with him being nominated for the Frank Broyles Award for the nation's top assistant coach, he may see this as something that may buy him an extra season in Tuscaloosa. Golden may see it as that, but could this be a situation where Saban's trying to nudge him elsewhere also? I mean, I know how dynamic of a recruiter Pete Golding is, but at the same time, you can move him to an off-field role and have him recruit and bring in a proven defensive coordinator. But regardless of what happens, I think O'Brien's out, and the game will be what becomes of Pete Golding. Monique Hubbard writes in with her score predictions. She's got 41-13 in favor of Bama. Appreciate that there from Monique there. And all of you guys for writing in, for chatting in, for interacting with me, taking time out of your Thanksgiving to spend time with yours truly as I'm giving you the Iron Bowl breakdown nuggets here for tomorrow. Once again, the game, 2:30 p.m. Central Time, right here, right on CBS with Gary Danielson and Brad Nessler from Bryant Denny. We got B Jammin coming in here. We got B Jammin with I want turnovers from hits. Not trying to rip the ball out, but I want turnovers from hits. Absolutely. Turnovers from hits. Thank you for coming on tonight. Hey, PJ Stein, no problem, PJ. But, hey, appreciate all of you guys checking out the show. As you guys know, you can check out that Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. You can get the app from the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple, or the Google Play Store if you got the Android phone. For your audio needs, check us out. We got you. iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, Overcast, out of FM. You know what it is. We got you on the audio right there. As the good and gracious Lord sees fit, I'll be back in studio on Monday, giving you all the information that is Tide football. You can purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Have those sent to your door. That link found in the description. If you're trying to get your hands on the fresh edition, print edition of TDA the magazine, you can get that by going to touchdownalabama.com. You click join, become a member or a subscriber today. Check that out. Want to shout all of you guys out, the Alabama football family. Thank you for interacting with me on the show tonight on a Friday, doing this remotely right here, but still giving you the Bama football goods right there. Thanks to all y'all chatting in, you guys donating in. Appreciate you guys making this your show, your network, platform, channel, and space to talk Bama. And until Monday, folks, husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children, you guys continue now doing the right thing, fun thing, good thing, smart thing, legitimate thing. To not be bored there. You get you those 3 hearty meals a day. Continue to eat that dressing, cornbread, candy, yams, macaroni and cheese, all of that. Yes, I know I'm fighting off the itis, but continue to get you those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself. You protect the loved ones around you. Enjoy the Iron Bowl tomorrow. Till next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith, and you've been listening to In My Own Words.